Hello, this is Mike with Play More Games, and today we are going to be playing Blitz, A World in Conflict, which is something of a collaboration between Australian Design Games and Compass Games. It was released in 2016. You could call it a army level treatment of the World in Flames game family. Here we are on turn 1 in the very first scenario, Blitz of Western Europe. So without further introduction, let's begin. So you can see on the short scenario A chart the game turn sequence. First is Axis activities, and we use an abbreviated game sequence of play, starting with rebase. Well, we have this plane exactly where we want it to be, so we won't rebase it. There are no other air units. Then we go to moves. We've got everyone where we want them to be. So then we will go right to our attack. Right? So as it starts, it's going to be the invasion of Poland. Okay? So combat in this game, for this scenario anyway, is pretty straightforward. You add up all the numbers in the green boxes. So 5 for AGC, 1 for First Para, and 2 for Army Group North. And then the Luftwaffe can give half of its factors rounded up, since this is a forest hex. So we have 3, 4, 9, 11, which goes to 10 because of the rounding for Luftwaffe, against 3. So then we just roll the dice. So 10 for the Axis, they get a 5, and a 3 for the Polish, they get a 6. And we have our charts here. Yes. Alright, so 3 for the Polish is 1S, and 5 on the 10 is 1L. Alright, so that's 1 loss, and then a third of the units must retreat. And since there's no place, or 2/3 of the units must retreat, since there's no place for it to retreat to, it takes another step loss. It deals 1 step loss, which will take on the paras, and then 1/3 of the remaining units cannot advance. So we'll say Army Group North cannot advance. So we'll advance Army Group Center. Alright, so that's the Axis phase. Now it's the Allies phase. So Allies will move. First scenario special rule, 1 unit must always stay in Great Britain. So we'll bring the BF to France, and the 7th Army will go to Paris. Alright, so now it's the Blitz phase. So we repeat E and F, which means we do a move and then a land combat. We cannot rebase this plane, so we don't get to use this plane. So 1, 2, 2, and we are set up to run into Belgium, Netherlands. Okay, so we have, let's see, we'll hold back the Volkssturm. So we have 7, 9, 10. These white arrows give us +1 for each, so 12. 12 against 1. So we'll roll for the Axis first. 12 is a 2, which is going to be a 1S. That's enough to kill the unit. And then for the Belgians, no result. So we'll leave the 18th Army there and Army Group B there, and we'll move the armor in. This just keeps them from doing anything kind of cheeky with the units in Western Germany. Alright. So now the Allies can move. We'll want to make sure that the plane is over here. But that's it. We're not going to attack. There's really no point to. Alright. So let's get our reinforcements for this turn. And we go to turn 2. January to February. It's also the final turn of the scenario. So all of these units go into Western Germany. And then the French Air Force goes into France. And these units go into Britain. Alright. So the first thing we'll do is we will rebase the Luftwaffe to Western Germany. And then, with our land moves completed, we are going to do an attack on France. So we're going to omit the Volkssturm, so France doesn't get these bonuses. And this time we're going to have an air combat. And before I do that, we do get to add 1 size to the 7th Army and to the BEF. So, don't want to forget that. Alright, so first off is air combat. Air combat works very similarly to land combat, except we use the white boxes. So French and the AFA have 2, and then they have a 3 for the Stukas, so they have 3. And the Germans have 6, 7, 8. So the Germans have 8. They get a 1, which is not great. That's enough to do send one of them back to base. And then firing back with 3 is enough to do 1 step loss. And then one of them has to go back to base. Let's see. I just wanted to confirm, when selecting letter results, the owner selects the first letter result. So we'll send the French Air Force back to base, and we'll send the Luftwaffe back to base. So these guys get through, alright, and then we have our ground combat. So let's get everything set up. Okay. So the Germans have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 15, 20, 29. And they have a -1 for the French army, so we'll call that 28. And the Allies have 1, 5, 7, 10, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. 7. So the Germans roll a 1. That's going to be a 2S. And the Allies with a 7 roll a 5, which is a 1S. So first, let's apply on the French. Alright, so we're going to take both losses on the BEF and the Germans have more armor, so they do have to retreat. We'll say the French army retreats. And then we have to take one loss here. Let's say we take the loss on (18th Army). All right. So now it's the English turn, AFA turn. So they're just going to load everything back up, which means that the Germans will do the same. And we're going to hope for a better result. See if we can push them out of France. Alright, so planes first. 4-6 for the Germans. They get a 4, which is 1, and 2, 3 for the Allies. They get a 6, which is a 1S. So we'll take the loss on the Stukas. We'll return the Luftwaffe to base, and we'll delete the French Air Force. Okay. So everything else gets through, so let's do combat factors for the Axis first. 5, 10, 14, 15, 17, 22, 24. And that's going to be modified to 22, 23. So 23. And we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 6. So let's roll the 23 first. We get a 1. And we'll roll the 6. We get a 1. So that's 1L. So we'll take the here. And 2/3 of the units must retreat. Which is going to round up to 3. Which means that the Germans are not able to take Paris, so the Germans lose the scenario. Unfortunately, they just rolled very poorly. Basically, every chance they got, they rolled poorly. So, if the dice had been a little bit more cooperative, it probably would have been pretty easy for us to take this. However, if we look, turn 2 is June 1940, February 1941, which puts us well behind the historical timeline. So this would end in a victory for the AFA. Alright, well I hope you liked this quick look at the first scenario in Blitz, A World in Conflict, which is a game looking to get a little more play out of. So thanks again for watching. This is Mike with Play More Games, and have a nice day.